Dear ladies and gentlemen, distinguished Mr. Stoltenberg, first of all, I would like to thank you for coming to Latvia. It's really important during this time that Secretary General of the NATO has chosen visiting all three Baltic states. We highly appreciate that. I would like to congratulate you for your undertaking the position, which concerns with significant challenges for safety policy not only in Europe but also in the world. This is really intense time for the NATO, as the alliance must be ready not only to implement all the decisions made at the NATO summit in Wales, but also to prove clearly and unambiguously its strict position to protect peace and prevent any military threat to all the NATO member states, thus performing the main task of our organization to ensure collective defense. We highly appreciate personal commitment of Secretary General and involvement in performing and implementing those decisions made at the NATO summit in Wales. Wales summit approved readiness action plan of the NATO, which is really important and significant document for protection of the Baltic states, and implementation thereof is a task and testimony of solidarity among the allies. Several years ago, such communication notions as Cold War or military aggression on the frontier of the NATO were not even mentioned. Unfortunately, currently we must talk about significant global and regional safety situation worsening caused by both of the aggressive action of Russian taking in the east of the alliance, as well as dissemination and spread of terrorism in the south of the allies. NATO is an alliance for protection, and it provides security of its member states. The NATO has proved its commitment with particular safety events and measures to be taken by expanding air policing as well as intensifying military training and exercises in Latvia and in the Baltic states. Latvia has trustworthy allies, and Latvia is trustful ally for its allies in the organization. The National Security Council meeting that took place in Liepāja last week assessed the performance of Latvia in strengthening its safety and security. I can unambiguously provide that we are really committed to improve and strengthen our security and safety as well as defensibility by continuing our work at development of our armed forces, and the Parliament of Latvia has unanimously decided on increasing the defense spending up to 2% of the gross domestic product of Latvia in the nearest years. This decision of the Parliament of Latvia will be implemented for sure. I would like to thank you, Mr. Stoltenberg, once again for visiting Latvia. This open and productive exchange of our opinions, both at our tete-a-tete talk as well as on during the conversation of the delegation. This coordinated and united approach is foundation for excellent work further on.
Thank you so much, Mr. President Bērziņš. I appreciate very much to be here in Riga, and Latvia is really a committed ally, and we very much appreciate the strong contribution you are giving to NATO, and we commend you for your contribution to our mission in Afghanistan, and that you have decided to participate in the initiative to create a joint expeditionary force, and that you are going to hosting our NATO Strategic Communication Center of Excellence. Latvia will also play an important leadership role when you assume the European Union's rotating presidency in January. You will help take forward vital work to improve the effectiveness and the capabilities of European defense, and you will host an important Eastern Partnership Summit. In our meeting today, we focused on the challenges from the east and on the crisis caused by Russia's aggressive actions in Ukraine. Our Baltic Air Police mission has conducted over 100 intercepts this year. This is 3 times more than last year. In fact, Russian air activity has increased all over Europe. As a result, NATO jets have been scrambled over 400 times close to NATO airspace, and that is 50% more than last year. This pattern is risky and unjustified. So NATO remains vigilant. We are here and we are ready to defend all allies against any threat. NATO's greatest responsibility is to protect and defend each and every ally. This is our commitment as set out in Article 5, and we stand resolute in that commitment. That commitment is clear for all to see. NATO aircraft are policing Baltic skies, NATO ships are patrolling the Baltic Sea, and NATO forces are starting an exercise in Europe every 2 days. The Adashi Training Center has played an important role in exercising our forces, and the presence of soldiers from across the alliance underscore the resolve of all the allies to stand behind the Baltic nations. We are working hard to turn the Readiness Action Plan that we agreed at the Wales Summit into reality, so that we can deal with threats from any direction. My top priority is that we implement the plan in full and on time. This will require investment. That is why it is so vital that all allies reverse the trend of declining defense budgets and start increasing defense investments. So I really welcome Latvia's commitment to raise defense expenditure in line with the pledge that we made in Wales. That is what we need to do to keep NATO strong, now and into the future. Mr. President, thank you so much for your personal commitments to our alliance, and thank you for the warm welcome.